You have probably been hearing a lot of buzz lately about something called vibe coding. Maybe you've seen the tweets, the LinkedIn posts, the headlines, and if you clicked on this video, you want to know what the hell vibe coding is, why is everyone calling it revolutionary, and how on earth can you get started? In this video, I'm going to explain in simple language what vibe coding is exactly, compare pros and cons of popular AI tools that are on the market, and how you can get started on building your product today. As a data scientist by trade, I'm a little ashamed to admit that I've been stuck my head in the sandbox for way too long. My world has been loads of Python scripts, SQL, and filming Instagram reels. AI is coming for us whether we are paying attention or not. I've been so busy being pulled into different projects that I simply haven't had the bandwidth to catch up with some of these rapid developments in AI. But this past week, everything changed. I decided to take a first step at my startup idea portfolio method and build an MVP myself to test the market. I was recommended V0 by a founder friend of mine as a vibe coding tool to build out the first iteration of my website, and it completely blew my mind. I built a functional website with actual usable code that I could literally copy over to GitHub and deploy, all in under 1 minute. And the first iteration was not bad at all, given that I described my idea to V0 with only 3 sentences. Before I give you a simple demo on how to use these tools to start building yourself, what is vibe coding? Let's break it down from a perspective of a data scientist. As data scientists, we give instructions to computers via code, most of the time in a language like Python or SQL. There are lines of code dedicated to tell the computer to either clean the data, train the model, or create a bar chart of sales trend. You need to know what code or syntax to write to be able to get the results or output that you want. Vibe coding takes this concept to a whole new level by letting the average person like Bob and Mary get the exact same output without knowing how to code. Vibe coding is powered by the latest generative AI models like ChatGPT or Claude, and instead of writing lines of code as a user, you're just describing to the computer what you want in plain English. You're conveying the vibe or the intent of your application using natural language. The AI then acts as an incredibly intelligent and hyper-fast developer, translating your descriptive prompts into functional, clean code. What is so transformative about vibe coding is that it is not just auto-completion, which we've had in IDEs for ages. This is about AI generating entire components, functions, and fully functional websites for someone who is not a developer or have coding background. And instead of spending thousands of dollars finding a freelancer the traditional way to build out your website, now you can do it for $20 a month with a fraction of the time. As a data scientist, even though I understand coding logic, I have no idea how to build a website, nor am I familiar with languages like Tailwind or JavaScript. When I first had my startup idea, I was fully expecting to only be able to build a prototype myself using Python packages like Streamlit and hiring a developer down the road. But vibe coding changed everything. It is not only reducing the cognitive load of remembering syntax or CSS properties, but also democratizing software creation, allowing people with ideas but without deep coding expertise to build actual products. Now, there are a few key players dominating the market today: V0, Cursor, and Replit. Let's start with my current favorite right now that I'm building portfolio method with, V0 by Vercel. V0 focuses specifically on generating UI components and entire user interfaces from natural language prompts. You can describe the visual elements, uploading your company's logo and color hex code, and it will generate production-ready React and CSS code instantly. The generated code is also clean, modern, and easy to copy and paste directly into your local IDE. You also have the option to link V0 with GitHub, so a private repo is created automatically on your behalf. So if you're building, for example, a Chrome extension, V0 is perfect to build the website with and can generate sales and traffic. But since it primarily focuses on its UI, it is not built for complex back-end systems or full-stack application development on its own. You will still need to connect it to your back-end services or databases. This is why V0 is called, well, V0, you are using it to get your idea off the ground fast, but then you will need to export the code elsewhere for more full-stack integration. One security tip to keep in mind with V0 or all of the tools that we're talking about today is to never hard-code your API keys directly into the front-end code. V0 provides environment variables that you can safely store your API keys in when you deploy your site. The second that we're going to talk about today is Cursor. As a data scientist who lives in code editors, this one immediately felt comfortable because it's a essentially an AI native code editor. It integrates AI capabilities directly into your coding workflow. You can highlight a block of code and ask it to explain what it does, which is a lifesaver when you're trying to understand legacy code or the code output generated by V0. Cursor is also capable of generating new code based on a description, refactor existing code, or find and fix bugs. It's kind of like a smart pair programmer sitting right next to you, offering suggestions and doing the heavy lifting. The advantage of Cursor is that if you already have some coding knowledge, even if it's not in web development, Cursor is a huge productivity booster. It understands context incredibly well and helps speed up development significantly. The disadvantage of Cursor is that it requires you to have a basic knowledge of coding, because at the end of the day, it is still an IDE. For someone with absolutely zero coding background, it can be intimidating when compared to a purely prompt-driven UI generator like V0. You can think of Cursor like an AI assistant for coders rather than a purely no-code vibe coding tools for non-developers. Last but not least, we have Replit, a platform many of you might know as a popular online IDE. It is a full-fledged development environment in the cloud in any programming language without needing to set up complex local environments. If you're someone who wants to get a project up and running quickly, you can write your code with natural language, test it, and deploy simple web apps directly from the platform. It also allows multiple people to code on the same project in real time. The advantage of Replit is that it is excellent for full-stack development instead of the V0 plus Cursor combination. You can do everything from within the Replit interface. Based on my personal testing, I did find that if you want to generate a simple website, V0 does a much better job in terms of speed of development and has a higher odds of getting it right on the first go while looking modern. When I put in the same initial prompt into V0 and Replit for a portfolio method, I could almost use the result from V0 right away, as opposed to with Replit, I needed to do further iterations. Now that you have a basic understanding of each one, let's get building with V0 and Replit. Let's say we want to build a recipe finder website. Here's a prompt that I will give to both. A clean modern hero section for a recipe finder app called Flavor Find. It should have a large engaging headline, discover your next favorite meal. Below that, a short subtitle, browse thousands of recipes personalized to your taste. Include a central call to action button that says start cooking and a search bar for find a recipe. Use a warm, inviting color scheme with hints of orange and green and a friendly font. Now let's take a look at the results. V0 here took about 3 to 5 seconds to build, but it's lacking a lot more functionality than Replit's version. I actually find that the less detail you give to V0 for your initial prompt, the less restrained the model feels, and the more complete the web page will be. On the other hand, Replit took significantly longer to build, but the results look amazing. None of the functionalities are currently there right now and will take further iteration of prompting, but the design elements and fully functional interactive buttons is what makes vibe coding so transformational. I hope you get an idea of what vibe coding means and how you can actually get started. Sometimes we can get stuck in our heads and are afraid of taking that first step because something is unfamiliar to us. Let me know which tool you'll be trying out today in the comment section and if there's any that I missed. If you're interested in building a data science portfolio, make sure you sign up for the waitlist with the link down below so that you can get the discount code when we launch. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.